Hey again, how's it going guys? I just thought I'd do myself a quick little video blog to see how that works out, and something's come up that I really wanted to talk about because I see this all the time, so often in fact that I've decided to give it a name. It may already be named by somebody else, but I'm claiming it anyway. To hell with them. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about something I call the fear of wrongful investment. Now this is something I see all the time, and when you start looking for it you will too. And it's a very strange fear that keeps people trapped in circumstances that don't provide them any real benefit. So I think a great example is that friend that you've got who's in a relationship with a total loser and they just won't end it. And you're pulling your hair out trying to convince them to get away from this person, and they stay. They know it's wrong, you know it's wrong, you talk about it all the time, they're always complaining, but they never leave the situation. Now why is this? Well, I think it has something to do with our brain's coding around gambling and investment. Now the same thing happens with gamblers who hit the blackjack tables and they start losing. But they start losing after they've already lost a lot of money, and some part of their brain says, you need to get your money back, you've invested so highly. It would be a total loss, a total shameful waste of time to walk away now. You can't walk away until you've won this situation. And that's how casinos stay in business. People keep trying to win back that money, and in doing so they can lose everything. So if we go back to the relationship example, the same factors apply. The more you invest in something, the harder you will find it to give up. Now I believe that this is partly because most of us are raised to believe that making mistakes is wrong. Okay? I don't know why we train our children in this way. When you're a kid, you're not afraid to make mistakes. You come up with answers when you don't know the answer. You try things that look scary. You do anything. And then as you get older, the courage to make those mistakes, to get things wrong, starts to wither and diminish. Because time and time again you've suffered negative consequences for being wrong. You know, you're embarrassed in the classroom when you answer the question wrong. You don't get picked for the team when you try out because you're not very good, and so on and so on. And what happens in your adulthood is you end up in a relationship, for example. You've been in it for months and months. You've put all this time and energy and effort into trying to make it work, and it just doesn't. But you don't want to give up, because then if you give up, you're basically admitting to yourself and everyone else that all that effort you put in, all that investment, all that gamble did not pay off. I really have to emphasize that if you're in this situation, you need to snap out of it. You need to understand that it is so okay to be wrong. I am wrong all the time. I'm not wrong now I'm perfectly right. But in all other areas of my life, I am so often wrong because I've learned to love making mistakes. It's the best possible way to learn. It might even be the only way to learn, really. All the top people in the world, all the people that are more successful in love, health, relationships, careers, wealth, whatever, they are all people who took a lot of risks, screwed up a lot of times, had a lot of so-called failures, learned from them, got better. That's all they did. They're not genetically superior people. Most of them aren't geniuses. There's nothing about them that's different from you or I or anybody else, except for the courage to keep making mistakes. So, how do you get that courage after a lifetime of being taught not to make mistakes? So how do you get out of the job that totally sucks, that you've invested so highly in? How do you get away from the relationship that is not going anywhere or that hurts you after you've invested all that time? The key is to start allowing yourself to get things wrong and to become used to this and actually start to enjoy it. Now, how you do this could be a number of different ways. So you might, for example, a great one is when you're starting up a business and you're trying to find advertising that works or marketing that works, and you just get knocked back time and time again. Your best ideas, nobody cares about them, nobody wants them, and you have to keep testing and trying new things and getting shut down again. And after a while, it becomes fun. You start going, damn, it didn't work again. Come on. It's like a challenge, you know. And that's where the real you is coming out, not the one that was the courage that was battered to death when you were growing up, but the courage within you that loves the adventure, loves the unknown, the getting knocked back and getting back up again, that pride you feel. One of the ways I did it was I went through a year after reading the book Yes Man by Danny Wallace. I went through a year of saying yes to everything, and in doing so got myself into a lot of situations that I was not very good at, and a lot of situations that were out of my comfort zone. So I made a lot of mistakes. But in doing so, because I forced myself into this pattern of having to go into these situations, I managed to snap myself out of this fear of wrongful investment and just realize there is no such thing as investment. The present moment is the only moment that matters. Everything that came before it is nothing but learning. And if you understand it that way, you can cut the ties of those things that aren't helpful to you. So that's just something I wanted to share. It's something that's very important to me. It's something I see so many people struggling through life, dragging this ball and chain, this fear, where they're doing something they don't even like anymore, but they keep doing it because of how long they've already done it for, or how much money they've already put in, how much time and energy they've put in. And sometimes you just have to say, got it wrong. I screwed that up. I don't know what I was doing, even though it was 10 years worth. I totally got it wrong, and I'm glad I figured that out now. And that's the other key. 10 years from now, do you want to be saying, man, I wish I had just stopped it 10 years ago? Or do you want to be saying, I'm glad I stopped it 10 years ago? That choice is up to you. And of course, if you need any assistance making that kind of decision, you know where to find me. Have yourselves a great week, guys. I'll catch you later.